So, hello everyone, welcome and welcome back to the channel. This is Amrita, aka your coffee chapter, and this time we are going to do the May reading wrap up. So this time, and in May, actually, from the TBR jar, we picked it up 5 books, and I read, and there were 4 books which were e-books, and out of 4, one was the part of my audiobook actually, and all those were, I think out of 4, 3 were the part of my EARC, and one was the book that I picked it up randomly from the Kindle of the author. Okay, so in total it make 9 books, but let's see how many books I have read so far, like in the May. So it's total 9 books that are been there. Mm, but I haven't read one book out of that. One physical book I haven't read because I did not get the time to finish it off. But the last book that I read left me into tears. I still think about the book. I still think about the characters, and it leaves me so devastating. Till the last, I was hoping. I wish something happens, something miraculous, something happens, something happens, something happens. But yeah, nothing happens. So let me just fix up my mic first, and then we can begin with it. All right, so now my mic is fixed. Okay, so let's begin with the my May wrap up for 2026, and let's see. So the first book that I'm just going with my least rating book to my most rated book. Okay, and in between I'll pick up the with the physical books. I'll pick up the my ebooks too. All right, so I guess I would like to start from the, I would say, okay, so I'll start with an ebook that I was talking about. So this ebook was a part of my EARC that I have got. The book is hashtag It's Complicated. It is available on Kindle. Okay, I don't remember the name of the author. I think Ritu Kumar, if I'm not wrong. I don't remember the author name. I'll put the picture somewhere here uh, for that. So the hashtag It's Complicated. So it's a story of Reva and Angad. So Reva is actually a digital media marketing manager. She comes from an affluent family, but has a issue with her body, like the people, how the people body shamed her. The guy who was there with her in the previous relationship body shames her, uses her so that he can go to up to that limit, and then dumps her out because how she looks. But here Reva, instead of using her family name, she builds her own identity, builds her own name in the digital media, uh, you know, world. And here's an Angad who is a single dad of 2 twins, one girl and one boy, who his life has taken some turn and moves back from New York to back to India, where they both are lives in the same society. And their meeting is the one which happens due to their work, but in some other scenario some misunderstanding happens. There are a lot of chaos that happens. Riva connects with the kids, they're the 5-year-old twins, so she connects with the kids in the school where they are, like in the kindergarten where she was there. And there are a lot of chaos that happens, and once that misunderstanding gets clear, the things rolls out. There are a lot of other family things which have been there. Liva does not live with her parents, but she lives in the same building. Okay, even her parents knows Angad and his family, like they had some previous relationship with each other, and the story flows like they have this tension, they pull towards each other from the starting, from their first meeting to do their work, which Riva was being assigned for, takes up for Angad. He is an owner of a news agency, I suppose, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, he is, I think, some media thing he's been there. The story flows. There's a tension between them. There is back and forth that happens. Angad is skeptical about spending life with Reva. Reva is also somewhere in delusion, or in some two-way process, like whether to accept Angad or not. Due to her past experience, Angad is also very diligently involved with his kids. So he also is skeptical about whether to have a relationship with Reva or not. Uh, so things happens like that. Okay, so that's the story that was being there. If I talk about the story, there are parts where I giggled a lot, but to be very honest, when I see the story now, like at that time I like the story, it was giggly and everything, it's just a short story, so yeah, it was giggly. But when I look at now, like after reading after a month or so, I feel that the story was nothing more than the some daily soap, Indian daily soap that is going on. Okay, all right. So this happened. Like this was the thing. So I felt that I did not felt very connected with the story, although there are certain parts which were giggly, but I could not connect with the story to be very honest. And it's like an Indian soap opera. So yeah, so that's like, and I have given it 2.5 stars. Yeah, it's 2.5 stars that I had given to the book. All right. So the next book that comes up is I'll take two books in the next one. That is the first book is The Ugly Love by Colin Hoover. So it is told story of Tate and Miles. There's a two POVs the story goes through of Tate and of Miles. Tate is a young girl who is pursuing her nursing. Miles is a pilot. Miles has a backstory, a tragic backstory. Miles is also the friend and colleague of Tate's brother, and they live in the same building. Tate comes over to live with his brother because she's on internship or somewhere in the hospital, where they have like this awkward meeting, first meeting that takes place when Tate's uh, uh, brother is not there in the city because he was pilot, he was flying. So now what happens is that the story continues. There is attraction that again there's attraction, there is a pull that happens between them. Tate likes Miles a lot. There's a physical attraction is being there, but there's something more. Miles also feels attracted, but due to his tragic past that happened, because of that, he is not able to move forward with Tate, and the feelings he had for the Tates, he kept it buried, and the relationship becomes messy because they both wanted each other, but due to Miles' experience of the past, the relationship becomes more of a physical rather than of emotional connect. Although they had an emotional connect, but deeper level, if I would say, it did not go till there. Like Miles was like pulling himself back the moment he feels like he should go towards. He takes one step towards the Tate and then takes 10 steps backwards. So Tate somewhere gets irritated by all this. Although she starts telling that okay, I don't I'm having him, I'm having him, he's there with me, someday he will open up someday, but things get lot messy around that, and finally the Tate leaves the building where he was like she was living with her brother, and she goes and lives somewhere else. In the meanwhile, uh, Miles uh, goes to the girl who was there and he was there in relationship with, meets with her so that she can get he can get a closure of that. And there's a very important role that is being played by the building watchman who actually forces Miles to go and get his past cleared if he wants, if he does not want Tate to be lost. He goes there, he sees how the person who was his ex, uh, part of his past life, like the life that he has already lived, is now happy, has moved forward from that sad incident, and now is living the life to the fullest and comes back. So there, but to be very honest, so this is the story. If I talk about the like the my perspective on this one, that there is a lot of I'd say, although if you just if somebody is in trauma, like what the Miles goes through, does not gives you the permission to drag another person with you in the same mess that has been created uh, by the destiny in your life. Nobody has given you the right to like pull another person into your life and makes that person's life also messy and complicated. So that part I did not like. There are a lot of spicy scenes are there. If you are a lover of spicy scenes, you will like it. There are a lot of detailed spicy scenes, I would say. But yeah, this is like a light mood read, but yeah, there were parts where I got literally frustrated because of what Miles was doing with Tate and what Tate was also doing with herself and with Miles. because from the starting the relationship was clear that it will be only a physical relationship, no emotions involved, and still they both get into it knowing that what they are feeling inside is not what they are showing outside. So there is a miscommunication, there is misunderstanding, past traumas, hurting each other because of those, not opening, not talking, keeping things inside. So yeah, so this is like a bit of a complicated story. uh, yeah, it was I had given it 3 stars, so it was like an okay read for me. I don't know whether you've read it or not, but yeah, it's an okay read. You can like read it for some, you know, light mood read. If you want to go, you can go with that, but yeah, you will get frustrated. If you have read it, you know what I'm talking about. If you have not, go and read it, you will find it out. Okay, so yeah, so next book that comes up is one of my one again ebook, because I'm taking with the least rated to the highest rating. So the next book is Beyond Expectations. Beyond Expectations is basically a book, a story of Caleb and Amber. So Amber is actually a girl who was in a relationship with a guy. This is an ebook that I've read and part of my ERC. So Amber is a girl. Yeah, Ember is a girl who actually lives with his brother and his two three friends, with her two three friends in a flat. Like they share the space, and they live like a family. His brother and one two other people who are also twins, living. So they all live together in a home, and she has a neighbor, like who, because both Amber and her brother live far away from their parents. So this neighbor is actually more acts like a parent to them, who is a couple, old age couple, and like they have a very harmonious and warm relationship with each other. And Amber goes through a bad breakup with his ex boyfriend. Uh, and in meanwhile, like everyone supports her really well. That's the first part of the story that I'm talking about, and then comes the entry of the Caleb and his brother, who is the son of the neighbor family. And they come for the Christmas. They start enjoying the time together, because Caleb and his brother lives in London. They don't live in the New York City, like in the United States. So yeah, so they come over here. They all like Amber, his brother, and his aunt, and her two friends who are living together, like the twins. They start mingling together. Caleb helps Amber a lot in coming out of that sad part. Uh, and in meanwhile, her parents also moves in. Now, so this is the story and how the story unfolds. There is a lot of heartbreak that happens. Now, what happens, that what part I did not like is that overindulgence of Amber's family into Amber's relationship, because when she was going through the worst, from the high school, she was living with her brother alone in a family at a home. Her parents is busy somewhere building up their life, their careers. That's okay, but and even when she goes through that difficult period of time, uh, they were nowhere to be seen. To be very honest, they are nowhere to be seen. They just give sometimes call, not very indulged in their family. And the role of Amber's brother and all friends, they are supportive, they are protective, but they become overprotective in a way that starts hampering the relationship of Amber and Caleb. And I did not understand one part, that when Amber was with this another guy who cheated on her, who dumped her, they they were aware that that guy was not good for Amber, but they supported Amber in that relationship. But when Caleb, who was such a nice guy, who was attentive, and everyone was saying, "Okay, Caleb is a nice guy, Caleb is a nice guy, Caleb is a nice guy," but when came to the relationship, they all became so immersed into their own controlling power that they start pulling Caleb and Amber away. And the entry of the parent happens, and the parent also starts indulging themselves in Amber's life. And Amber, who started living her life back on track, suddenly is back on in the same hole where she was being there before the entry of the Kala, which means again devastated, again heartbroken. And they all named it, the people around her, whether her parents, her brother, her friends, it is protection. Under name of the protection, they were like surrounding her life, caging her up, and controlling her life in a way where she could not able to breathe properly. And at the end, things just went so bad. I did not like it. I had given it, I think, 3 stars. Yeah, I had given it 3 stars. I did not like the end of the story, the overindulgence. There should be certain line or the characters which were being there in the starting, like the character development should, it went like this, and it then again went like at the bottom, rock bottom. They hit the character development, the characters went hit to the rock bottom, according to their nature, like what they were doing. Okay, being Amber supported her brother's love life, and his friend's love life, but when it came to support her, everyone started having their own opinions to control her life, which I did not like. That part of, I don't remember the name of the author. I'll share the picture of the book over here. It is available on Kindle. Okay, so yeah, so this is the my fourth book. Yeah, I suppose fourth or third book. I don't remember. I'll just mark it down which one I have done. So beyond, this one is done. This one is done, and this one is done. Okay, so I have read it 3 books. So I have to give like my opinion on 3 books so far. So let's move to the other book. So the other book that comes up is, I'll go with the um, 12. Okay, I'll go with this one. So next book is Funny Story by Emily Henry. So when I talk about this book, so this book is actually, let's keep it over here. Is it visible? Yeah, it's visible. So, okay, so Funny Story is a is if I, okay. If I talk about the book, then the story is surrounds Daphne and Miles, who are both ditched by their partners, and now their partners are together, forced to live in a same flat, and the story moves forward. Daphne is a girl who shifts her entire life and comes in and moves her entire life from the city where she was working, to live with her ex-fiance, so that they can get married, they get a house. But her fiance gets involved with her own best friend, and Miles is the person who is there with the Daphne's ex friend. Like now they are committed. So yeah, so now Daphne and Miles, both of their partners now are together, and they both were best friends. But now because the Daphne has shifted entire life over there, she does not have a place to go. Miles tell her, her ex tells her to like move out from the house, because the house is on his name, and he's the one who is paid for all of that. And because Daphne does not earn much, so she says that she does not have a place to go. And at the same time, Miles arrives. She asks her, "Can I live with you? Because I don't have any place to go. Neither I can afford." So she goes and lives with Miles at his place in a flat. The story changes. They slowly and slowly they start building a relationship, first friendship, and then they move forward. But they get really hurt when they see the pictures of their exes together, happy, enjoying, and about to get married. Okay, and to make their exes jealous, they involve with each other in front of Daphne's ex, like in a parking lot somewhere where they go, and they start kissing each other, almost eating each other, not kissing, almost eating each other. They involve with each other like that, and and things gets messy with them, because they want to make their exes jealous, but their feelings have also started developing for each other. The place where they are living, I don't remember the name of the place, but it's a very, very small place, and Daphne wants to move out from that place, back to the city, so that she can move on with her life. But right now, Daphne is working in a very small library, children's library, which has been there. Miles helps her a lot to figure out her life, and try to convince her that she does not have to move her life according to her ex. because previously also she moved back her life, and again now she's moving back her life because of her ex only. So Miles tried to convince her and tells her that this place where she is living right now is a beautiful place, and she should also start loving, and instead of running here and there every time and moving her life because of some other person, should settle down at a place which helps her to uh, gain the control of her own life rather than people controlling her life. So there's these things happen. Now if I talk about, like, there are a lot of spicy scenes which are involved in the book, if I say. And the stories, well, there are parts where I was giggling, the parts which I did not like the miscommunication is happening. uh, Again the exes were coming back and creating a rux in their relationship, the misunderstanding that takes place, and because of what happens entirely, one thing that I liked the part was that Daphne finally realizes that she is her own savior. Although Miles is there in her life, but she needs her own place. So if anything tomorrow goes wrong with Miles, she has a place where she is living. She does not have to be thrown away again like she has been thrown previously. That was a nice part with how the character developed, how the Miles character also developed. I like that part where he was being really very enclosed, comes up and his life starts developing, his character starts developing into a confident person, a person who is ready to protect Daphne and his relationship. But there are miscommunication coming back of access, because of access there is a miscommunication which is happening, and they both are not talking to each other. Instead of talking to each other, they were running from each other. So that is the part that I did not like. Although the story is good, it is light-hearted, you can easily read it very well, and I have given, I think, 3.5 stars to funny story. So yeah, this is my first funny book of Emily Henry. I liked it. So yeah, all right. So the next book that comes up is okay, is Spies, Lies and Alibis by, I think, Natalia Walters, if I'm not wrong. I'll share the post over here. It is a part of my EARC. I've listened it into the form of audiobook. Okay, so the story revolves around Sybil and Ben. Ben is an FBI agent uh, trying to crack down a complete system where shell companies are being made and the money is being looted from the innocent people and being transferred. The funds is being used in the mafia or some other way of, like, getting money and something like that. And whereas a Sybil is also hired by a private investigation investigating agency to work for the same cause. Because Sybil was also being a victim of such things, so she eagerly involves herself in that thing. They both meet in such a circumstances that they both get shocked when they see each other, because Sybil and Ben, they both know each other from the past. So now the thing is whether to tell each other the truth or whether to hide the truth, because they are not able to trust each other. And because of this, there is miscommunication which is happening. There is uh, lies which is being told by both of them, like, because Ben is an FBI agent, so he has entered into that corrupt system with some other name, with some other identity, and Sybil only knows that, whereas Ben thinks that she is there because she wants some good money or something like that, and she is involved in that also syndicate which is happening, the fraudulence which is happening. And he wants to save Sybil because he thinks that Sybil is the same innocent girl which he had a crush on when as a teenager. And Sybil also thinks that how can Ben turns into someone whom she had crush on, loved him, into someone who is involved in such fishy financial things, financial fraud things. How can that, because they both don't know the reality, they both cannot trust each other, and they both keep on lying to each other. There's a lot of tension that happens whenever they are alone. Miles tries to get under her skin, where Sybil also tries to get under his skin. And Sybil also Ben gets to know that Sybil is getting targeted, and Sybil also gets an idea that she is on a radar of some other mafia person, because he has some because he suspects that she is going to, you know, do some bad or to the system or something like that. So they just, so Sybil runs away from that place, not in a runaway, but she pretends, giving the idea that she is going for a vacation to her family home, to stay with her uncle for some time. And Ben also reaches over there because Ben also had a relationship with Sybil's cousin. They meet with each other. Sybil, without knowing that why, because it was some darkness, so Sybil just thrashes Ben really bad out, and Ben, being a trained FBI agent in all the physical activities, still gets overpowered by Sybil. Things happens there only. Sybil and Ben gets to know who they really are, and now they work together. What happens at the end, because Sybil is also have lot of affection for the person whom she's working for in the mafia syndicate, because she thinks that he is someone who really cares about Sybil, and so she also want to protect that person, and also protects Ben, because Ben also wants to protect Sybil. He does not want anything to happen to Sybil. So there are a lot of complication that happens at the end. Uh, I like the story. It flows really smoothly, I would say. But there were certain parts which were like really fast. Either they were going really, really fast, or they were really, really slow. Certain parts were there. Although it's a good one, the story is predictable. There is nothing which you cannot predict. So the story is predictable. You can easily predict the ending, like what is going to happen at the end. Uh, but yeah, that's what I can think about. I had given 3.5 stars to the Spies, Lies and Alibis. So this is my third EARC part of. Another book that I have read was also my e-book that I read it on Kindle. Like, I was just sitting somewhere, so I just started reading that. I only have like 40 minutes or something in my hand, so I started reading that book over there. The book is Evidence of Affair, and it is written by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I have one book of Taylor Jenkins Reid with me in my bookshelf, that is Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and I haven't got a chance to read that book yet. But yeah, the story was around David and Carrie. So David and Carrie's spouses, both of their spouses started having an affair, and they got to know through the letters that Carrie discovers in her husband's briefcase. And she started writing letters to David, telling like what is happening, that their spouses are having an affair. David writes back, so it's a correspondence thing which happens. They keep on exchanging letters, discussing, because they don't have anyone to talk about what they are going through, and they both know like what it's feel like they get cheated by their spouses. Carrie does not have a children. She was trying for very long years to have a children, but she does not have any children. Whereas David already have three kids with his spouse. So they keep on exchanging letters. They know that their spouses are still going out, they're still cheating. They live in nearby towns, and they meet. Their spouses meet time to time and they cheat. And so David and Carrie also starts meeting with each other to discuss the emotions, everything to go through. In between all of that, they develop a bond of, first the bond of understanding, then a bond of reliability and friendship, and much higher than that later on. Because at the end, when David and Carrie feels that now they should, because their spouses just confesses their own cheating in front of them, so they think that okay, fine, we will forgive them and move on with our lives, because that is what we will do. uh, but Carrie gets to know that why her spouse has said, confessed like what he had done. No, sorry, Carrie's husband does not confess. David's wife confesses like what she has done, but then he tells that I'm already aware about it. Let's just forget and just move on with our lives, because we have three kids to take care of. And Carrie just lives on with her life. But then she gets to know why the confession happened, with the why the both of them stopped their relationship, and that's why Carrie's husband has came back to her. That hit her at the very right spot, and she felt that she has been used and betrayed, and been treated as an option. So she finally divorces her husband out, and in the final letter that she writes to David, that I've divorced my husband, I'm living with my mother, and it would be great if you can visit me sometime, and we have a girl child. And so yeah, so the relationship develops far further away. That's how the story ends. It's a beautiful, beautiful read. Very small book, hardly 86 pages that I've read on Kindle. Flows very smoothly. The relationship chaos, the betrayal, the cheating, the lies, the emotional unavailability of a spouse. The eagerness of telling someone that what you are going through and there is no one, and in meanwhile you develop a relationship also. uh, all that is beautifully been woven into a beautiful a small story of letters by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I think it's like one of the very good stories that I've read. I've given it 3.5 stars. uh, yeah, so the next book that comes up is, okay, let me just check it out. I've done this and I've done this. Okay, so the next book that comes up is One Dark Window by Rachel Glink. So this is the next book that I have read. I hope it's visible. So this is a story of magic. This is a story of mist. This is a story of how mist has actually become a threat to the people living around it, and those who comes in contact with the mist gets cursed, and they are being killed by the kingdom, because the kingdom feels that they are the people who carries power, and that power is not known by the other people and cannot be controlled, where the power which is controlled by the kingdom, by the king and his and by the very few affluent people nearby the king in the court is done by the cards, the province cards which are being there. So the story is of B and Elspeth, or you can say the short name for Elspeth is B. B actually gets cursed because she gets lost in the mist, so she gets cursed, and uh, because each and every kid has some other kind of a power, but the kids don't survive who comes in contact with the mist. They can't cross the age of 10 and 12. But here B is all grown up, around 30 years old, and she has a power that there's a card called Dark Night or Night Window, something like that, which is actually B, when she touches that card of the nightingale, which is just there with her uncle, that monster, that nightingale gets inside her head and lives over there. But the thing is, the more power she uses of that monster, that card, the more the control that monster is going to have on her mind, so she never uses it. But things turns another way, because she was living with her uncle, because his father sent her to live with her uncle, so that she can be saved and cannot be killed by the king and his army. So she is being hidden properly at her uncle's place, although they weren't aware that okay, that the kid has been there, then it's been there, but they don't know what power she was holding, so there was no point like killing her, all because his father was also part of the court, so she just gets spared. There she when she goes for some annual function over there, where she meets Raven, and Raven also is a story. His brother has been poisoned by the mist, and is being captured by the king, so that the king can have a control over Raven. And Raven is also captain in over there, and he's also containing a card. He also has a power, but so you need to read the book what the power both of them have. The story turns, they both have to align together, so that all the cards, province cards, can be collected and the mist can be lifted. Otherwise the mist will start engulfing the portion, and is engulfing portion by portion of the kingdom, and one day the entire kingdom will be wiped out. But there is a lot of tension that is going on. In between that, they also start developing the relationship with each other, and that's how the story keeps on going on. And what happens at the end is that the monster finally takes over the mind and body of B. What that leads to that, how does that happen, what Raven does is really commendable, and what B does to save Raven's brother is also commendable. Uh, so yeah, so this is like I had given it 3.75 stars. I like the story. I think I've annotated few parts of it. If you can see, these are the few parts that I've annotated it. and I love the book. I'm really looking forward to read the second part of the book series soon. Let's see when I get a chance to read it. So yeah, all right. So the last book, before I pick up my last book, I would like to talk about one more book, that is The Thousand Splendid Sun by Khalid Hosseini. I could not even start the book. Forget about finishing it. I could not even start the book. So I'm dropping this book back down, and I think it is prompt number, if I'm not wrong. Let me check. Thousand Splendid Sun. I think it is part number 16, which has been there. No, this is not. This is 6. Yeah, so this is number 16. It is the number for Thousand Splendid Sun, and I'm putting it back into the jar. So let's see when we can get a chance to read this one. Okay, all right. So the last book that I read and I cried the most is You Have Reached Sam by Dustin Thau, and this is the amount I have anecdoted it. So, like I don't think I have left anything to anecdote it. Okay, so whenever I talk about the story of this, the story revolves around Sam and Julie. Sam and Julie live in a Allensenburg, a small town where Julie has been shifted from Seattle. They meet with each other. Their friendship starts. They start having a relationship, and they spend a beautiful 3 years of their lives together of their high school. In just before the high school is about to end, Sam passes away in a tragic accident, and Julie encloses herself in the home and does not respond, talk to anyone out there. She cuts off all the connections and just put herself in the room, first crying, howling, feeling sad and anxious over the loss of Sam, because he was the source of anchor in her life, and now he's gone. All the plans that they have made, now Julie is being left alone to deal with all those plans. The graduation is now around the corner, and she's lacking behind the studies. She starts going to the school, but nobody talks to her. Everybody blames her. Nobody talks to her. Anybody who's close to Sam's only if looks at her like she has done something wrong, which she is responsible for the death of Sam. And somewhere she also thinks that because I could have done something else, Sam could have been saved, and he would have not dead. If like she has done something else, like you'll get to know when you read this book. To Because she gets so overwhelmed with the feelings that she was having, she calls on the number, on Sam's number, and the Sam picks us up. So the Sam is being stuck between life and death, somewhere in between, and there's some hole in the universe. Because of that, they both can get connected. Only their phone can get connected. They keep on talking to each other. Sam helps Julie to move forward slowly and steadily, but he tells also that one day she has to say goodbye, because this is why the second chance is being given to them, so that they can properly say goodbye to each other. uh, by the time you reach to the parts of this, like the mid or end of the story, you just start praying inside. Like what I was doing, I was praying inside for the Sam to return back anyhow, because it is so devastating. Your heart will break into million of pieces. It will shatter your soul. And the last goodbye that they both have to say, it is really heartbreaking. I cried my eyes out while saying, while going through that portion. And this book took me the longest to read, because I read it for like one chapter in a single day, like for some hour, and did not had a courage to pick this book up again and read it for like next 2 days. Then again, I still read a few parts, then I put it down, because I was aware like what the story is. So again, it's already shattering. And when I went through the each and every portion, it was shattering my heart. And more importantly, you don't read this book or read the story, you actually live the story, uh, as a third person who's seeing the story, the life of Sam, the story of Sam, the connection, the love, the friendship, the bond that they both share, Sam and Julie share with them, and it's really heartbreaking. So, being part of the story makes you breaks your heart more rather than just reading it. So I felt that I had become the part of the story, and yeah, I'm looking forward to read its other part, that you have reached all over. I think you have, yeah, you have reached all. No, I don't know. I don't remember the name exactly, but yeah, I'm looking forward to read another book of, because of like there's a second part of this book. Where the Sam's on the perspective of Sam's friends Oliver, and there was one more book. You have found Oliver, something like that, where one is Haru and one is Oliver, something like that. Two books are there. So yeah, Oliver I want to read first, because it's the second part of the perspective of Oliver, story with Oliver's perspective, who was the best friend of Sam. So yeah, so this is, I have given it 4.25 stars, and this is my one of the best read for the May month. So I have read total of 8 books, I suppose, including my ebooks, audiobooks, and physical books. So it was quite a reading full month. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, that's all. You can tell me in the comment, like, if you have read any of these books. What are your thoughts on it, and are you, or if not, are you planning to read any of these? And you can later share your comments on them. So if you've liked my video, you can please like, share, and comment down below. And you can also follow me on Fable with the name The Coffee Chapter 2, or on Goodreads, or on Instagram too with the name The Coffee Chapter 2. So I'll see you in the next one. Till then, have a reading full month, and I'll see you in the next. Bye bye.